Welcome, everyone, to the Seamless.AI daily training webinar. We really appreciate you joining us today, and we will get things kicked off just in about 4 or 5 after the hour. Today, we have a group daily training, so we want to just give everybody an opportunity to get filtered in here and get settled in before we get things kicked off. Before we do that, though, a couple of housekeeping items. First, just wanted to introduce those of us who are going to be leading the demo here today. My name is Jake Phillips. I'm the VP of Product here at Seamless.AI, and I just wanted to personally say that I really appreciate these calls and the opportunity that I get to connect with our customers and hear direct feedback from our clients to understand how we can continue to optimize the platform, how we can continue to make Seamless better and better fulfill your needs, because that's really why we're here, to make a platform that best fulfills your needs and helps you build pipeline and helps you continue to crush your quota in sales. So this time, a couple times a week, really helps me to groom the backlog, define our roadmap, and I take a lot of this information directly into planning for our roadmap and what we develop here at Seamless.ai. A lot of our biggest features have been from direct feedback from our customers, whether it's here on these demos or through support tickets or through demo other calls and things like that. So definitely, as we're going through this demo here today, let us know if you have any feedback, have any questions, or have any feature requests or anything like that, because both myself and David, who's my colleague on this call, really take a lot from that feedback. And David is our Director of Customer Success. He's here with me, and he's actually going to be walking through the demo here today. And he leads all things customer success on our side. So working with our support team and our success team who handle tickets as those get submitted and people have questions about the platform as you're actively working in the platform. He also works with our team that's working on proactive outreach, making sure even before you ask, we're able to get out in front of you and make sure that you're well aware of how to use the platform and are excelling as best as possible in using the platform, and walking through demos like this today that he'll be leading. So both David and myself, again, are just really excited to be able to share the next 60 minutes with you. And I did mention providing feedback while you're on this call. And so the best way to do that, there's one method that is the best way to do that. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A button in your little Zoom conference panel. That button, if you click it, will pop up a text box. And if you have any questions or want us to go in deeper on a subject, or maybe a subject we missed you want us to cover, or even, like I said, a feature request or something like that you want to share with us over the course of the next 60 minutes, use that button, type in whatever you have that you want to share with us, and just make sure you communicate with us liberally, because we want to make sure that you come out of this as effective and as successful as you possibly can to hit the ground running if you're new, or have a nice refresh if you've been here for a while. So yeah, use that button liberally and make sure we can hear from you with any questions that you might have. We'll go over any other ways to contact with us outside of this demo here today, because there are a number of ways to continue to learn how to use Seamless or to continue to contact our team. David will cover that as part of the demo. And finally, if you want to refresh yourself on this demo or anything that we cover, we will be posting these within our Help Center. David will share that as part of the demo as well, so you can see where to go if you want to re-reference this demo, or you want to potentially share that with anybody on your team. We'll show you the place within our Help Center to do that, and we'll get this updated. Generally, it's before the end of the day today, but at the most 12 to 24 hours, we'll have this ready for you. You can also find previous demos and webinars there as well, in case you want to reference anything that we've previously done. But they're all fairly similar, and this one, of course, will be tailored to you. So feel free to go ahead and check that one out. So looks like we're coming right up around 4 or 5 after the hour. And with that said, I'll go ahead and hand things over to my colleague, David Toll, so he can get us kick-started and run it with the demo. So David, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jake. Just want to echo that welcome to everybody today to our weekly webinar training. This is a live session, so as Jake said, please use that Q&A. Our priority on this session is to make sure that we can personalize this session to you. We've got lots of best practices and feature updates to cover. So whether you're new to the platform or you're tuning back in to see what the latest and greatest is when it comes to Seamless.AI, we're going to make sure you're covered. But yes, because we're live, using that Q&A is going to be a great way to let us know what's going to be the most relevant content for us to cover. Is it the Chrome extension? Is it integrating your CRM? Is it searching for particular use cases? Please jump in there. Let us know what you're looking for today, and we'll make sure to personalize this session to you and all the other attendees as we go. We'll be paying attention to those Q&As and making sure we respond to them in real time in the chat. I do tend to, as Jake may have mentioned, try to respond to them live as well, and keep an eagle eye out for those, assuming he doesn't get to them first. But we will make sure, if we're not able to get to everybody's questions, we'll make sure to follow up with folks and make sure you get everything you need. And as Jake said, we'll have this webinar posted in our knowledge base for further review after we finish. Now, moving forward, after we finish today's session, and you may already know this, but I always like to highlight it since as Director of Enterprise Customer Success, I also head up our CS operation. When you need support in the future after this webinar is over, the Q&A continues right down here on the help icon. If you click on that, you're going to get access to a couple of things. One is the opportunity to search every article in our Knowledge Management Center. All of the documentation we have, sales hacks, pro tips, product release notes, quick tips, podcasts that will tell you everything you need to know about how to use the platform. Every time our team gets an answer to a question that isn't documented here, we create a new article, create a new video, create more content to make sure you can immerse yourself in all of this learning material to be a true subject matter expert on everything you can get out of Seamless.ai. In addition to what you can do once you've accessed this data, right? Are you looking for sales secrets from the top 1%? Our CEO, Brandon, is sitting down with sales experts twice a week to bring back strategies, playbooks, tips, insights that you can leverage to grow your audience. And if you want to talk to our team, just hit contact us. That way you can reach out with any specific requests. And this is also a great way to share feedback with us. If there are any features you'd like to see us explore or add, different products you'd like to see us integrate with, and also strategic support, right? This is not just a technical support team. This goes to everybody in customer success, and that does include technical support, but also strategic support. Are you looking to increase your yield when it comes to email or phones? Are you looking to find particular markets? Our team is equipped to help you with any and all questions. Send us attachments, send us data files to review, send us videos of how you're searching to make sure you're on the right track. Anything and everything that will help us make you as successful as possible, not just using Seamless, but as a sales and marketing professional in general. That's our mission. All right. So let's dive right in and take a look at using the platform. And as I see questions come in, like I said, I'll make sure we cover them. And looking at some of the ones coming in now, I'll give everybody an overview of some of the things we're planning to cover, and that should make sure that you're set on some of these things that you have questions about. So we'll start by searching here on the platform to make sure you know how to use our contact search and our company search. We'll also take a look at how to use our Chrome extension. The Chrome extension embeds into your browser and allows you to leverage Seamless.ai search anywhere with you, wherever you go online. If you live in LinkedIn, we'll show you how to search within LinkedIn. If you live on company websites doing research there, we'll show you how to search directly from company websites. And if you live in your CRM, enriching and managing accounts and data that are already there, we'll show you how to search within your CRM as well. We want to be everywhere you are so that you can constantly research, constantly build pipeline, and leverage that as a foundation to hit the rest of your goals. We'll also take a look at some ways that you can personalize your account, whether it's in your user management section, configuring a CRM setup, or setting goals for yourself so that you have accountability to drive pipeline and make sure you're coming in here every day, every week, every month to research leads that'll get you to the life that you want, the salary you want, the job status you want, and to help grow your business. So that's a light agenda, right? But it's up to change based on what kind of cute questions you guys bring in. So we'll keep an eye out for those and manage them as we see them. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into using the platform to search. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to reinforce the first thing that we want to share with you on this webinar in relationship to how our most successful customers have leveraged the platform. Ultimately, that's what drives content for these webinars for us. We start from making sure that you know how our power users use Seamless.ai. That way you can replicate their success. You can go through your own learning curve. The product, according to most people we talk to, is pretty intuitive, right? But in order to master it, in order to become a subject matter expert and to be a true power user, these are the power user pro tips that those customers have shared with us when we've gone to them and said, "Hey, you've had a lot of success using Seamless. What kind of things did you do? What kind of tactics did you deploy?" This is what they shared with us. These are the experiences they told us helped them unlock the power of real-time search to grow their audience. So it's not Jake and I telling you how to use it. It's our most successful customers telling you how they used it. We want to share that with you. The biggest thing that our customers have said that unlocked how to use Seamless for them was making sure they continuously remembered that Seamless is not a database. Seamless.ai is not a database. If they were able to remember that and act accordingly, then they had massive success. It's not a database, it's a search engine. So when I type in some titles here in order to filter my search, VPs, directors, and I can search for a particular company. I'm going to go today. I'll search for MongoDB. Try to pull them up. I've got exact company matching there as well, so I always wait for that to populate. I can search for keywords as well. So if I'm looking for folks in product, I'm not limited to title. That'll find people who are in the product space, even if their title doesn't explicitly reflect it. These are all filters that I could use in a database style solution as well, right? And if it were a database, you'd use these filters to have the database pull up everything on the back end that matches this search parameter, right? We're different. We're not a database, we're a search engine. So when I click search, we are in real time looking over the digital footprint of over 750 million potential contacts to find the best ones that match your search parameters. That's what just happened. You could have gone to Google and entered all of these parameters in, or gone out to different resources out there for real-time search. Could have gone to social media, could have gone to news media, could have gone to different company websites, right? We looked across everything just now using those search parameters and brought back this first page of 10 results. So this is a search engine, right? That's what we're pulling this from. We're pulling it from real-time data that's reflective of changes real-time in these contacts' digital footprints. That's the most important thing to know. The more you can remember that this is not a database and it's a search engine, the easier it's going to be to build the right habits and maybe break some old habits that you have from working in a database. In fact, that's really the reason the product was created. Our founder and CEO, Brandon Bernanson, was leveraging a database-style solution to sell for companies like Google, IBM. And in doing so, it was coming up short. And he'll tell you that. That's the story that he's been very transparent about. He was not hitting his goals. He was not finding enough people to hit the revenue goals that would justify buying the database. So he needed to go out in real time and search for contacts on his own. But in doing so, he discovered a repeatable process that we'll show you here that we have automated. Now, the best way for me to show you is to research these contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and find some contacts here so we can take a look at what happens next, how we leverage a multi-step AI-driven process to find and validate contact information for all of these folks across their digital footprint. But there is one power user pro tip I'm going to show you first. And it's one of the single most important things people have told me as they started using the platform. Oh, man, I wish I would have started doing that sooner. I wish I was doing this from the very beginning. Set a default list. Whenever you're researching contacts, make sure you set a default list in place, because that way, whoever you research is going to be automatically added to this list. And that's going to help you manage your contacts as you get them into your CRM, download them, whatever you're going to do next, the next phase of your sales and marketing funnel, right? Okay, so I've got MongoDB set as my default list. I can even add new ones too, right, if I wanted to do MongoDB product. So let's go ahead and create a new list just for the sake of demonstrating that, right? Now, when I hit find, we are researching all of the email addresses, all of the phone numbers that are available that we can find using real-time search. We're locating all of them and pulling them back into your Seamless.ai account in real time. You can already see that happen within a matter of seconds for Andy and Kendrick. And there's Sean too. Just took a few seconds more. So what just happened there? If we didn't pull this from a database, where'd we get it? The answer to that question comes when you click on any of the contact data here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Kendrick. And that's going to pull up our AI validation tab so you see our homework. We want you to have visibility to where we got this data, how we pulled it. We're walking through this multi-step process up here. We're looking at email. So we're researching, validating, and verifying emails by sending a virtual email to the server at MongoDB. So if you have been leveraging a third-party email validation service, that it comes included with Seamless.ai. That's something that may be worth revisiting if you're still using one of those products. Nothing against our friends in that space, but you already get email validation as part of Seamless.AI search. So that's one step. We're validating the email against the server. We're looking at social media as a resource. Over 1 billion social profiles, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, for all the information we can gather on that contact. We're looking at global web. Anytime that person appears in a global web search or anywhere out there on any website, what are we finding about them? And that helps a lot when it comes to identifying relevant contacts by keywords, additional points of contact data. Company website is a great resource, obviously, right? So instead of you having to take the time to go to the company website of MongoDB and look everywhere for Kendrick's contact information, that's done. That's part of this process. That's a step we take in our multi-step process. And then news media, we're looking over 250,000 news sites for information on these contacts, contact information, anything that's going to help you narrow down to them being as relevant as possible. So we're finding all of this, all of these company phone numbers, all these contact phone numbers, all of these email addresses. They're all populating in real-time search. The quantity is coming to you in real-time search. But as part of this, the AI validation process we're performing across all of these different attributes and sources is also ensuring quality. That even goes to user AI. So you see these thumbs up, thumbs down here? This is giving you and the rest of our users a chance to be part of this artificial intelligence driven process to source the best possible contact data. So if you call Kendrick at that 40 phone number and it's no good, you can come in here and downvote it. Or if you connect with him and say, that's great, I was exactly the right number, come on back here if you get a chance to upvote it. We're not dependent upon that, but we want to give you and every user on the platform a chance to participate in this process. So we're looking at multiple factors to bring you not only the highest level of quantity of content information we can, but to help you focus on quality as well. Again, all of this is stuff you went out there and searched for it yourself. You'd find it probably. It might take you 45 minutes to an hour per contact. And that's what Brandon was doing. He was looking at all of these resources and he got good at it, good enough to the point that he could repeat it and know exactly what he was doing enough that he went to developers in his network to say, can you build me a prototype that does this for me? Can you build me an automation that does all the things I'm doing manually and just automates it? And that's what they did. And once he had that, that's how Brandon became a millionaire. And the next step was then to release this product to you and everybody else in sales so you can replicate that success for yourself. So I spend time on that at the beginning of every one of these demos, right? No matter what the questions are, because that is one of the key components of using the platform. It's a search engine and not a database. And when you embrace that, it opens up a lot of doors. For instance, right over here, right? I'm going after decision makers at MongoDB. I'm looking at CEOs, VPs, and directors. I might even look at managers. The reason being is that because I'm using a search engine, it makes sense to go for a big scope of contacts. I might not ordinarily look for managers or directors. If I was using a database style solution, I probably wouldn't do that because I'm in a solution like that, and you've probably used them yourself if you've been in the space as long as we have or longer. You know that I'm going to have to end up, using a certain amount of the tokens or whatever for a CEO's contact information versus a VP's versus a director versus, and I got to I got to start thinking about, okay, how am I going to spend my tokens? How am I going to, issue those across different titles? And I got to slow down, right? That makes me slow down and consider how I'm going to divvy all of this up and get nickel and dime my way up the corporate ladder. That is not the way our unlimited licenses work. It's an unlimited license because you can search for all of this contact data equally. We've democratized the data so that it's really dependent upon what's the best digital footprint. Give yourself every opportunity to find contacts, find influencers, find a foothold at the company in the area you're looking for. Cast a wide net. That is what our power users have come back and said. I didn't used to search for managers, but once I did, I booked more meetings, I closed more business, and I had more success because Seamless opened that up for me because I had the power of real-time search at my disposal. So another power user pro tip that relates to is in how you find contacts. So you saw me use these find buttons here, right? Now, if you want to get selective, you can go through this and find contacts and, kind of pick and choose who you want to locate. But that is not what our power users do, and it's not how I search when I'm developing lists. I use the find all button. When I click this, it's going to research everybody on the page in real time. So I can go page by page and research everyone that fits these parameters. And then I'm going to learn more about what kind of detail I get. Maybe I don't get contact phone for some people. Maybe I also get a personal email address for some people, right? That's another input that I need. Until that research is performed, you don't have the full picture of who this contact is and how much data with which you have to work. So use the Find All button in connection with this little arrow up here. That's going to take me to the next page. But remember, it's a search engine, not a database. So when I click Next, we're running the search again in real time to find the next round of the most relevant contacts according to your parameters. So this could change page to page, day to day. Now I'm going to hit Find All again and bring all of these contacts into my list, and they're all going to autosave to MongoDB product because that's what I have set as my default list. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to wait for them to load. I'm not going to slow down to review exactly what I'm getting. I'm going to go Next and Find All in rapid succession. This is what our power users do, no matter where you're searching from. And we'll take a look at how to search using the Chrome extension too. Next and Find All in rapid succession. If you find yourself doing that, you're doing something right. And all this data is automatically being saved to my MongoDB list. Cool. You're starting to see some differentiation here, right? Maybe as I reach out, this is going to help me differentiate between Eric and Terry. Good. I have a direct phone for Eric. I don't for Terry. Maybe that matters to how I'm going to reach out, right? I'm getting more data as I go, as I search. So don't be stingy with the Find All button on an unlimited license. Use it liberally. Build big lists. That's going to let you go back and filter to the right contacts that make the most sense for you to research, upload into your CRM, download, move forward with. We're not a CRM. We're a research engine, right? So you can store as many of these contacts here as you want and as you need, and then determine what you want to do with them next. So yeah, liberal use of the Find All button, cast a wide net using Find All and using these filters. All right. Saw a good question come in. What other data do you provide in addition to email, phone numbers? I've seen some more information about other, data points you're referencing. Great question. I'm going to cover that right now, and I'm glad you asked because some people do miss this. We want to make sure you don't. Over here in the Intel column, right, we see email and phone, and that's where I click to pull up that AI validation section, right? This shows me all this information here on everything we retrieved as far as phone and email. We're also pulling in contact intelligence in this column. That includes direct links to social media profiles, which are obviously extremely helpful, but it also includes this contact details section. If I click on that, that's going to open up the resource that we use and our power users leverage internally. This is where our power users and even our team will come and say, if you're going to be the person who's going to cold call Niati or cold email Niati, you need to know who she is. What does she value? What is she working on? What does her company need right now? What problems is she trying to solve? Those are all things you can intuit, and you'd be able to, manually copy and paste a bunch of stuff into different third-party resources out there to find that out. Or you can come directly to this contact intelligence page and review it here. If you're looking for advertising intelligence about the company, you can find it there if it's available. You can also look at paid search keywords. If you're looking for what their budget is on ad spend right now, there's no daily ad budget. What's going? They have some copies, they have some keywords in place, but they're not running with any budget. So now you know that about this customer, right? All of these insights are here. What do you want to know about their financials? What do you want to know about their social media mentions, their Alexa score, their Wikipedia page, tweets, Google profile, etc. All of it's right here at your fingertips for you to pull together a personalized pitch to your contact. So you can let them know, I know who you are, I know what problems you're trying to solve, and I'm going to reveal the value that my product can provide to you. Your products and services are going to make these people's lives better. You owe it to them to make sure they see that value, right? So this is a great place to leverage some of that data. All of these points are available to download when you save a contact, and we'll also take a look at how you can map them into your CRM as well. All right, so that's contact intelligence. And again, that's available right here, little magnifying glass, either from my contacts, which is where I am now, right? That's something to note. I'm in a different section, and within search. So when you find contacts, you can jump right into the contact details. My contacts is where you can go to review all of the contacts that you have found, that you have saved to your Seamless.AI account. And there are definitely some features here that I want to cover that'll help you keep your data organized and make sure you can move them into that next stage of your sales and marketing funnel. This is also where you can get a total count of how many contacts you've saved. See, I've got a little over 4,000 right now. In search, the total fluctuates. I don't have a total down here because every time I hit next, we rerun the search again, right? We're not a database, we're a search engine. So because that number shifts in real time, we don't provide one here. But in my contacts, that's more static, right? You've saved that contact. They're part of your research now. And we can get a count on that. We can also help you filter across different attributes so you can review how many you have on a certain list, how many you have at a certain company. So if there's just one company I'm trying to target and make sure I can review anybody I have there, that's something I can do. I can also filter by different email and phone attributes. So if I want to limit my list to people who have a contact phone, like maybe I don't want to look at some of these folks who I didn't find a contact phone for in real-time search, or if I want to limit it to just valid email addresses, I can just show people who passed our validation process as well. I have a lot of recruiters who use the platform, and if they're looking for B2C data, and most of what you find in real-time search is going to be B2B, right? But if we find personal email addresses that we can validate, we will share that. Anything you could go out there and find for yourself, we'll bring back to you, we'll validate it, you'll be able to give it a look. So I have a lot of recruiters who use the product who will use that filter to come back in here and say, okay, good, how many of these contacts do I have where I have a personal email I can use to reach out to? And then this is why I hit on the list, because you can filter by that list. I've been running everything onto that MongoDB product list, right? It's almost like a folder or a campaign that I'm working. So I'm going to select it. I can select more too if I wanted to look at all of my contacts that fit a certain number of lists that I've worked. I can hit apply. And now I'm just looking at folks, my MongoDB list, who I have a personal email for, and I can see that I have 10 so far. So that could be a good cue for me to say, do I want to go back, do some more searching? Am I ready to download these and work these contacts? In general, our point of view, and this is going to differ across your sales operation, your individual goals, what your sales leaders are setting for you and your team. In general, we recommend working this contact data as soon as possible. Don't sit on it. Our power users are not coming in here and trying to grab 3,000 contacts quickly and then work them slowly over the course of a quarter, right? Work them in real time, because your customer's digital footprint is going to change in real time too. And if you don't work this data quickly enough, if you don't consume just enough data in a segment that you know you could work in the next couple of days or in the next week, you run the risk of it becoming out of date, just like you run that risk when you're working in a database, because the database is not plugged into real-time changes in your customer's digital footprint. If Rob leaves and goes to a new job, if Francesca gets promoted, you want to know that now, right? So work these contacts quickly. The best way you can do that is to get these contacts out of Seamless and into the next step of your sales and marketing funnel. So let's take a look at how to do that, right? So I've got this filter to my MongoDB product, folks. I'm looking at just personal email. I can change these filters if I wanted to. Let's say I want to download these contacts. If I wanted to, I could remove these filters and download everything, every single contact I have in Seamless.ai, and then I can use Excel to slice and dice that data and look at exactly the audience I need. And I'm pretty good at Excel, and I could probably do that, but I'd like to save myself the time. So I'm going to go to download, filtered. When this represents download filtered, it means you have filters applied here, and it's going to let you just download the contacts on that list. In this case, because those are the filters I have applied, and contacts that have a personal email. I can do the same thing with the company filter, particular name, etc. I saw a good question come through. Clean versus raw. What does that mean? Makes sense that you'd ask that. The clean file is what most of our customers use. It's still going to give you probably more data than you need. I'd say definitely more data than you need. The only real difference between the clean file and the raw file is the clean file will only show you these first three attributes, first three phone numbers, first three emails, first three personal emails, right? It'll focus on the first three in each of these different buckets, the best three, right? Or if you want all of them, you can download the raw file, right? Even though the validation scores are low, even though the emails are marked as invalid. We're not going to stop you from accessing that data. We're transparent. It's yours. You can take it. But most of our customers use the clean file because that just gives them what they need to focus on, right? But if you're a really dedicated data hound or you got some additional processes you want to run this through, the raw file is available, but the clean file should give you everything that you need. If you click that, it's going to download it as a CSV file right here into your browser, so you can work that, copy paste it into whatever you need, export, upload it into whatever system you're going to use. But you should definitely take a look at the opportunity to automate that data flow into as much as you possibly can. We have a direct Salesforce integration. We also integrate directly with Outreach and HubSpot. So if I click on the Salesforce Cloud here, you'll see a bit of what that integration does. We're running account duplication checking, contact duplication checking to make sure that you're only importing the contacts you want to, and you can set preferences to determine what can be imported and what can't be. In this case, I have a rule in place that only lets me import a contact if we are able to validate a business email. I don't have a valid business email for William here, but I do for Justin. So I should have no problem importing him. I might have a duplicate account in here that I have to, it looks like I do. So great. So the integration is looking out for me, thinking on my behalf and saying, hey, David, heads up. Your Salesforce account might need to be cleaned up a little bit. You have 2 different MongoDB accounts in here. Which one did you want to import it to? And I can select the one I want, hit import, and make sure I keep my data clean, keep it consistent without creating unnecessary duplicates in my CRM as part of the import process, right? I do see some questions coming in about Chrome extensions, so I'm going to focus on those. We will come back to CRM. So if that is of value to you, please throw that into the Q&A as well. We'll make sure we know to cover it, but I want to make sure I address some of these questions coming in like, David, that's great, but I want to be able to search by location. I want to be able to search by industry, right? I'm vertical based. I'm territory based. How do I use Seamless to do that? So let's take a second to pivot into that direction and make sure we're personalizing this for you guys so we can cover that ground too. So if you look at the contact search, this is probably what drove this question, if I'm guessing, right? That you'll look at these attributes and say, okay, title, company, keyword, name. Name is a filter, so if you know exactly who you're looking for, you can search for them. But where's location? Where's industry? Where's company headcount? Great question. Remember, we are a search engine, and to be honest, we're the first one to get across the finish line with this kind of product, right? So we are going to continue to work on how best to table up location, industry as real-time search attributes that can accurately represent that data as quickly as possible so you can search that way. But we're going to be the first people to figure it out. We're excited to do that. I think we're actually pretty close on location, but we want to make sure we get it right before we roll that out. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. We have thousands of customers who are vertical based, who are industry based, and who use the platform every day to efficiently hit their goals. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do that. One is if you're working key accounts. So it kind of depends on what your business operation looks like, how you work leads, what kind of internal parameters you have, and I'll show you what those customers who work under the same parameters do to accomplish their goals. So when I'm working with customers who work key accounts and are responsible for identifying companies that they're going to work gradually over time, and they have territory requirements for those companies or industry requirements for those companies or headcount requirements, they can use our company search to accomplish that. So I can target a specific industry like computer software. I can target employee headcount sizes. Like if I'm just going to look at some of the big guys, I can do that. And then I can look by location as well. So if I just want to target California, if that's my territory, I can do that. I could even break it down into regions in California if I needed to. One feature here that I really like, it's relatively new, but it's exciting, is a technology filter. So I can target companies that are using particular platforms like Salesforce. We have great Salesforce integration, right? Makes sense that I would go after companies that I know use Salesforce to say, you have got to tie this into your CRM. It's going to change your life. It's going to add so much efficiency, etc. Company keywords are available too, estimated revenue, employee size, they're all there. And when I hit search with those attributes, just like in the contact search, it's going to pull in the best results that match what I'm searching for. So if you're looking for key accounts that match your territory, match your industry, match your other requirements that you know makes up your ideal client profile, this is one way to do it, because then you can save these companies just like you saved contacts before. I can save them to a list. Got a California tech list. I'm going to go even ahead and create a new one here, my California Salesforce list, since they're all in that product. Right? And I can go ahead and save all these, any new contacts for that list. Some of these I already have in place. I can move on to the next page, find more, and I can just keep adding people to these lists. Now, as I do that, right, I'm saving them to these lists, and I'm going to be able to have these companies in place in my Seamless.AI account. The next step would be outreach, right? So I'd want to find a way to reach out to these companies and find contacts there. That's easy too. You can either from within this search or from within my companies, pull up one of those lists that you've built. Again, remember the filter right up here. So I can just pull up my California list, scroll down, apply, and then when I hit find all over here, it's a bit different. So watch what happens. Watch what happens over here. When I hit find all, it's going to populate the first 10 companies there as company filters, right, in my contact search. So I can bulk search 10 companies at a time from my company list and find the right people that I need to contact by hitting search. My California Salesforce list will already be in place here as my default. And once it finds my first round of contacts, I'll be able to research those contacts, save them all to my California Salesforce list, and build out not just my list of key accounts, but also my list of contacts at those key accounts. So again, that's a good use case. And in this case too, right, I might want to break it open a little bit. Maybe I remove the product keyword. Anytime I see this, I'm going to try to crack it open and go a little further, right? What I also like to note here is that works if you're searching for key accounts. If, like a lot of my customers, you're trying to cut through that and say, I just need contact data. I'm not looking for companies. I'm looking for phone numbers. I'm looking for emails right off the bat. Then here's what I would do. If you want to work key accounts that way, you can. But if you're looking to get right to phone numbers, right to emails, here's what our customers do instead. Have your attributes set, pick your company, and hit social. Social is going to populate these search results in LinkedIn standard search. And because I have my Chrome extension installed, Seamless.AI search is going to layer directly over my search results in LinkedIn so I can research contacts from here. This way, you can leverage the fact that LinkedIn is a database to say, I want MongoDB, but I'm actually just looking for folks in San Francisco. Or I'm looking for other filters as well. Maybe I'm making sure that I have Mongo selected as the company. But if I wanted to come in here and do a company agnostic search and just look for locations, just look for particular industries, maybe I want to remove that as the company. Maybe I want to crack open the industry to computer software a bit. I'm going to go ahead and reset that, right? Those are all options that are available to me. And when I hit find all, I'm not touching anything. It's just scrolling down the page and popping back up so that I'm then able to have those contacts researched and validated in my Seamless.ai account. So this is how the customers with whom I work, if they are looking for people by vertical, people by territory, they are leveraging either LinkedIn Standard Search or LinkedIn Sales Navigator to target those segments using the precision of LinkedIn's filters, because they are a database. We gave them all the data to work with, right? But then not being dependent upon what LinkedIn says is correct. Because you don't know if somebody updated her profile, right? Is Sebastian still the CEO at Glide? If LinkedIn said, if he didn't update his profile, then he probably is. But is Esther still in this role? Is her contact information still up to date? Don't be dependent upon the data that's here. Use Seamless.ai search to research these contacts and get their direct contact information, save it to your account. So all we're doing here is we've embedded the Chrome extension into your search experience, so you're still researching these contacts, right? It's the same search that we ran before. It's the exact same thing. It's just layered over a different set of search results, and it's giving you the ability to inspect and go back and review, what did I learn from this contact, right? So here's somebody at YouTube, they're on my tech list, and when I click that contact information, I can review all of the same attributes. It's the same search. Right? I'm looking at email, social, global web, company website, news media, user AI. We're hitting all the same research points to bring you this contact data, regardless of where you search from. Now, as far as power user pro tips go, I also want to show the experience in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We have a lot of customers who use the product in conjunction with LinkedIn Sales Navigator to tremendous success. There are a lot of reasons for that. And one thing I want to show real quick, right? If you're using Sales Navigator and you're using it to connect with a broader network of people who may fit your requirements, it's very easy to jump in here and see who pops up in your feed, like Amy here. If I see Amy pop up in my feed and I say, oh, right, I need Amy's contact information from any profile page, and this goes for LinkedIn Standard, LinkedIn Recruiter, I can go to the profile page and use the find button to research their contact data. If they have more than one role open, like the chairman of the board here at Jones, right, I probably want to stick with the first one here, Talent Architecture Limited. That's more their job type job. So I'm going to hit that, and I'll be able to review Amy in my contacts. There she is. And let's say I don't want her to stay on that Salesforce list, right? She's in education, so I'm going to make sure I get her added to an education list. Might have to go and create one real quick in order to accomplish that. But yeah, like once you have that list in place, you can add her to that list right here. But really, the benefit in Sales Navigator, if I go back to my home page, right? No matter where I'm from, I can run these advanced searches that let me search for leads by even more filters than I have available in LinkedIn Standard. For context, we're transparent about this. We're Sales Navigator customers. We have some customers at LinkedIn actually who use our product as well. So we're power users here ourselves. So if you already use Sales Nav, we're pretty well versed in a lot of pro tips that can help you get as much value from the platform as possible. If you're not currently using it, I'll tell you what, they've got a 30-day free trial. I love this. I love using the current company, right? I love being able to filter to, according to LinkedIn, right? How long have they been there? Are they still in that phase where they're, going to be picking up new ideas and laying the groundwork for change? Seniority level, are they a DM, right? We use LinkedIn Sales Navigator a lot. We think it's a great tool, and I've had a lot of customers start using Seamless.AI and say, "I actually think this is great. I'm going to try the 30-day free trial." And I have yet to have somebody come back and say it's not worth it. So yeah, Sales Navigator comes with additional cost. You got to consider that for sure. But these filters, if you have requirements that you need to target specific company headcounts or geographically, if you're trying to target, say, a certain radius around a particular zip code, using the database here is going to help you with that because it's going to let you target that very specific segment. And then, like, if these are the 8 people you need to talk to, but you need their contact data, that's where we can help, right? So if I'm in Columbus, I'm looking at CBUS software, leaders, 11 to 50, that's my list here. So I'm saving that list, and now I can hit find all on these contacts, and they're all going to roll right back into Seamless.ai. Here they come. I got to let it roll back up to the top. There they are. So there's Paris, there's Noah, there's Cruciate at Accenture. All that data is coming in for me. I'm seeing, is the email valid? Yes. Or the phone number is good? Yes. Perfect. So some additional features in Sales Navigator, right? Oh, actually, let me jump back in here real quick. Right, here's Alan, right? And this sometimes is actually a good thing. I know it's frustrating to be like, there's no email. If we couldn't validate the email, that tells you something. That's why I say research everybody, right? Don't be stingy with the find all button. Research everyone. And now I know I'm going to focus my attention on Faris and Noah and Krishi and not Alan, because this might not be up to date. His profile might not have changed. My wife's profile still says that she's the managing director of the nonprofit theater company. She has been doing that for 8 years, right? So use this tool, but don't be dependent upon this data. Validate it using Seamless.ai to give yourself that leg up in using their direct contact information and in validating if the information is still correct. So a couple of other pro tips working within Sales Navigator. The save searches feature is one of my favorites. I will use this frequently to go back to other lists I've run before and said, oh, right, I had another software list that I was running. And 42 new. So that means there are 42 results since the last time I searched that, according to updates in their LinkedIn profile, are now relevant to me. So I want to get my search that I had saved for that, see my software, right? You don't need to have nearly as many lists as I do. I have a lot of lists in place for testing, training, stuff like that. Most customers do not have this number of lists, but if I get computer software marketing in place. Now watch when I hit find all, one of the other benefits of Sales Navigator. Have you noticed how in LinkedIn Standard you get 10 results per page? 25 results per page in Sales Navigator. This is probably the driving factor for a lot of customers with whom I work who will adopt our product, right? Start searching with Seamless.ai everywhere, and we'll look at a few other Chrome extension features here in a second, but they'll try it on Sales Navigator and say, I can get 25 contacts in one poll. That's a huge efficiency gain. You can effectively search on Sales Navigator 150 times faster than you can anywhere else. So it's worth a look if you haven't tried it already. And then all those contacts, just to confirm. Oh, thanks for the heads up, Seamless. Now I'm back. Anytime the website needs a quick refresh, it'll tell you. Yep, so I'm getting all that data. It's all being added to my computer software list. I'm good to go. One thing to note too, because we see customers encounter this, because remember, this is a Chrome extension, right? It's not directly integrated into LinkedIn. It's not taking anything that we're not, you shouldn't have access to. If anything does block it though, because we're talking about your Chrome plugin, layering over LinkedIn, reporting back to Seamless.AI. If anything ever blocks the data transfer, we will tell you. You will see this say retry. And if it does, you'll have an opportunity to hover over the icon and read whatever error message there is. If that ever happens, a quick refresh is going to do the trick for you, and you're going to be all set to go. One other pro tip on the Sales Navigator front, if you, because I have a lot of customers who they're looking for very specific context, they have very specific parameters on who their DMs are, but I also have customers who are looking to build big lists quickly, right? Like my architect list here. If I'm targeting architects in California, I want all the owners, I want everybody. I know it's tempting to look at that and say, I want all 8,000 of those contacts, right? But if you're familiar with LinkedIn and their commercial use policy, they're not going to let you search all 8,000 of these contacts in one day. You know, and for what it's worth, we are supportive of those policies. We think it's great that LinkedIn is looking out for data privacy. We as well position ourselves as an advocate for data privacy. We're passionate about you finding data authentically, finding it the right way. So we're supportive of policies like that. We think it's good. That said, the stopgap for me when I'm searching is if I get stopped, I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to get stopped. I have to remember where I left off, and that can be disruptive. So here's what I do to create an easier workflow for myself and where we coach customers and what other customers have had success with. I will use another attribute like company headcount. Let's go with 11 to 50 because this one is going to get me under 1,000. And if I get that count under 1,000, I'm going to be able to research this list, no problem, in one go. So about 1,000 per list. If you hold yourself to that, you're not going to have any issues based on the experience of most of our customers. It can run the gamut, right? These rules on the commercial use policy aren't set in stone. It all depends on everything else that you're doing with your LinkedIn account. See here how this was already, I already had Deanna in place, right? So that's marked as added. So we're not creating a duplicate of Deanna because you already found Deanna in my Seamless.ai account. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to jump into the app again because I know we had some questions about CRM and how that works. Again, you know, if you have the integration installed, it's a one-click integration. If I wanted to import Marie here, I can click on my Salesforce cloud because I have the integration installed. It'll run that duplication checking at both the account and contact level. If it needs to resolve duplicate accounts, it'll make me do that. And then once it's imported, he's going to be right there in my Salesforce account for me to work. If I have other automations built in that send my contacts directly into an outreach campaign or a sales loft campaign as soon as they're saved, I'm good to go there too. So one question we'll get is what data can be mapped into CRM. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, right? This is all configurable up here in your account. So if you go to your settings, this is going to give you a walkthrough of some features to adjust and adopt as you go. Take a quick tour. If you click on that, that's actually going to open up a 101 tour within our knowledge management system that we talked about earlier, right? So you can access the knowledge management system here within the app, or you can go directly to the website here and go through the entire library of content we have in place. This is a great place to start, especially getting these 5 most important features enabled, including this Chrome extension that we were looking at, right? Make sure you've got it installed. You'll see this icon in your browser if you already have it in place. We make it easy for you to, even from your settings, just click right here. That'll take you to the Chrome store as well to make sure you have it in place. Add to CRM will show you our library of current integrations. You can also go to Connected Apps for that. That'll show you some email integrations that we have in addition to our connection to Zapier. So we have direct integrations with Salesforce, HubSpot, and Outreach. Zapier is a third-party platform that connects different technology products with each other. So it's a great place to go if you're using a product like SalesLoft, where we have a direct integration on our roadmap with SalesLoft, and we'll get there, but I know a lot of customers use it. Well, then what I recommend doing, if you don't have Salesforce or HubSpot, if you're using SalesLoft as a standalone product, build an automation using Zapier that will fire seamless data into SalesLoft automatically in the background. It's very easy to do. You don't have to know how to write a line of code to make it work. And we actually have in our knowledge base some extensive material around how to do that. So if you're looking for more information on how to build out some of those workflows, we'll help you on that front too. I'll go ahead and just pull up an example here real quick so you can take a look. It's pretty easy. They map all the inputs for you, and you kind of choose your own adventure along the way. What fields do you want to map from one place to another? What action do you want to trigger in the other app? And then where do you map it to? The direct integrations, though, give you a lot of ability to build efficiencies if you're managing a team or if you're looking to integrate it directly. CRM setup is where you can get that in place. You can use this to connect directly to any one of these platforms. They're all one-click integrations. All we need are your credentials, that OAuth, and then all of your fields become mapped endpoints. Every Salesforce field you have at a contact level, at an account level, at a lead level, if you've got it in place, we can map data there. So we'll give you some out of the box like these, like email, first name, last name, contact phone, but you can add new mappings, and I highly recommend going through these. For instance, if I wanted to map some of that intelligence, right, paid search keyword intelligence, as long as I have a corresponding field in my Salesforce instance or my CRM, whichever one I have in place, I can map it there. Two quick pro tips that I'm going to recommend you map while we have you on the call. One is business email validation status. So as you're importing this email, get the status in there as well. That's going to go a long way to helping you mitigate bounce rates as you're bringing different email addresses in. We have some thought leadership on that here in our knowledge management system, especially if you're using HubSpot. HubSpot is great at being very strict about the email quality that you're importing. Pay attention to these validation statuses when you're importing into HubSpot or any CRM to make sure you're setting yourself up for success and using as much data as possible. Another recommendation I have is contact phone, right? So we're gonna build out this mapping to send the contact phone, the best contact phone that we find, into your CRM. Don't settle for that. Get more than one. Sometimes the contact phone one is the direct desk phone. Sometimes contact phone two is the mobile, right? Give yourself, if you're going to be doing direct dials, give yourself as many opportunities as possible to connect with your customer. Give your team as many as opportunities to dial out as possible, right? You can update that mapping here to send those data points over. And there's so many more you can add. You know, LinkedIn URLs, location data for the company, for the contact, Google Finance, job postings, all of these third-party links that we have access to, tons of stuff. So make sure you're leveraging these fields, map the right data into your Salesforce, your Outreach, your HubSpot to give you and your team a leg up. You can also turn on automatic import, which I'll do right here for us. Save that setting. A lot of settings you can configure, right? To spend some time on a few of them that can be valuable. The automatic import is a huge efficiency gain. I'll show you how that works now that we've got it in place. It's basically going to import the contact as soon as you research it, which can be incredibly efficient. You can choose to override existing company or contact data. So if you pick this, then any of this data you have mapped, if we find an up-to-date phone number and you have an old one here, we'll overwrite the old with a new. We'll enrich your data as you go to make sure that you're preventing and rather mitigating data decay, even while you're researching net new contacts or existing contacts. I know we're coming up on time here, and I see some questions folks want to see more about the Chrome extension, so I'll leave it there. Please make sure to leverage all of the resources we have in place in the knowledge base around CRM integrations. We have integration guides for everything, HubSpot, Salesforce, it's all available for you there. But I'll leave this automatic integration turned on so that we can have that in place to review moving forward. All right, let me make sure I get that saved for you because it is pretty cool and I want you to see it. So we've taken a look at the Chrome extension. We've taken a look at how you can leverage it I got it turned on, automatic import. I guess I need to remove this field. We've shown you how to look at it across a couple of different fronts, right? You've looked at how to use the Chrome extension in LinkedIn. We've looked at how to use it on profile pages in LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Standard. If you are working these contacts in Salesforce, right? Let's say you're assigned this account, Murray Duncan Architects, right? And you're supposed to find everybody at this account, right? If you've been in sales, you probably have been assigned an account and there's nobody in the account. Good news. If you're in an account in Salesforce, hit the Chrome extension icon, and we'll search everybody in that account in real time. It detects exactly what account page you're on. Hit that Chrome extension icon, it'll show you everybody. You can use this cursor up here to filter by specific keywords. So if I'm just looking for folks in customer success at Seamless, I can hit search, get them covered. Yep, there's me. And then let me show you how the direct integration with Salesforce works, right? This is regardless of where you're searching from. When I hit find, once it's done researching my contact data, I'm already going to be imported into Salesforce. As soon as that research hits and it's complete, that Cloud is going to pop up. It's already going to be blue, and I'm already going to be in our Salesforce instance. It's a great way to efficiently work contacts. See, as soon as it was done, I'm already there. That was actually my cell phone number too. So it works. The system works. This works from company website as well. So you live in Salesforce, you live in LinkedIn, you live on company websites, right? So if I'm searching on Adobe, I happen to be on their website. Instead of me trying to jump in and figure out where's everybody's contact info, hit the Chrome extension icon. It'll search everybody at Adobe. Are you trying to target a specific vertical like we talked about before, or a certain title? Maybe you're searching for folks in finance. Use your keyword search to find those people. You could also set a default list. So if I'm looking for Adobe Finance, look how quickly you can do this. How quickly you can configure your filters, set a default list, find everybody who's relevant to your contact data right from the website. And all of them are now going to integrate into Salesforce automatically because I have that setting in place. So Tiffany's already in Salesforce. Alexander's in Salesforce. Tammy, Kathleen, Julie, they're all in Salesforce now. And if I have automations on the Salesforce side that I've already built out, then that means they're already in my outreach campaign. They're already in my Mojo Dialer campaign, right? You can build up so many automations that can help you take all of those parts out of the process so you can focus your attention on talking to your customers, revealing value to Michael, spending time with him, authentically connecting with him, taking all the stuff that used to be manual and automating it so you could grow and nurture your audience. So you want to give you as many opportunities as possible. Search from Salesforce, search from HubSpot. This works on HubSpot account pages too. Search from websites, search from Sales Nav, search from LinkedIn, search from the app, companies and contacts, right? And once you do, you can start to hit the goals you've set for yourself. Do you see how as I've been researching contacts, this goal has been slowly creeping up? I want to show you how this works. And we're going to close at this feature because it's one of the most important things you can do to create accountability for yourself and help us not just be a product you use to grow your business, but help us be a partner in generating success for you, your team, your company, your customers. So when I click on that icon, it's going to open up our goal tracking. Now, the goal is determined by the income calculator over here on the left. When you click on that, you're going to be able to review an income calculator that gives you a chance to tell us and tell yourself, how often do you need to research leads? How many leads do you need to save every day, every week, every month, every year to get to the salary you want? This isn't designed for a VP of finance. We didn't build this out to be a system of record for dollars and cents. This is for you. This is for everybody on the front end of sales who's an SDR, a BDR, an AE, a market researcher, anybody who's working meetings, booking meetings, earning commission on new business. Set your own salary. Give us some attributes on, say, your average commission. We need your lead book appointment conversion rate. Give us these inputs, and we see how it's automatically updating. It's going to update it in real time based on what you need. And that way we can tell you. Don't let us assume how many leads you have to research. Come in and tell us. And that way you can have that daily accountability to hit your goal and make sure you get there. Now, you can set it to the minimum, right? You can set it to the 1x version, and I say, oh, I only need 20 more leads. But there's more time left in the day. You all saw how quickly I can research these contacts, right? I know I can get more than that in the time I have left today. So I'm going to 3x or 5x this. I'm going to push myself to accomplish as much as I can and build as much pipeline as I can to work quickly so I can get closer to that goal of hitting 550,000 by the end of the year. Because that's where I want to be, right? That's where we want you to be. We want you to show us where you want to go. So you can 3x, 5x, 10x that goal. It's all going to be tracked here for you. And then in the goal tracking, you can, in my case, my account's primarily here for testing and training, right? But if you're on a team, you're going to be able to look at where you sit across the rest of your peers. You can also set it to a global setting like this. And if you're a part of a team, this is what you'll probably see, right? You'll be able to review where you stand across a global population of users if you're really ambitious. Or if you're part of a group on Seamless, set it to team. And this way you can see where you sit amongst your coworkers, amongst your peers. Are you carrying your weight? Are you doing enough to build business for the company? And then you see how we see booked appointments and sales here. Now, we're not tracking that automatically, but if you want to celebrate those wins, come on up here to the gong. Whenever you close a big deal, give it a click. We're going to make it rain. We're going to produce one of the finest vintage gifts in all the land. Our team has worked diligently at finding all of these. Tell us how much you earned. Get some social proof out there on LinkedIn. Send a notification out to your team. That way you can celebrate the wins along with the pipeline. And we'll be totally transparent. Psychologically, what we're doing here is we're trying to get us more excited about building pipeline. All of us. We love celebrating closed biz. We have an actual physical gong here in our office that our team rings whenever they close a big deal. You might hear it go off in a few minutes. We celebrate booking appointments. These are the things we go to the bar and brag about, right? We don't go to the bar and brag about how much pipeline you built. I get it. We all get it, right? That means we need to create for ourselves psychological advantages that gamify the experience for ourselves, create accountability, because if we don't build pipeline, if you don't create that, then you don't get to the closed won deal. You don't get to the book meeting. The pipeline is the foundation of everything. It's your daily nutrition. It's your daily exercise. It's brushing your teeth in the morning. It's not sexy, but you have to do it. You have to create accountability for yourself to make sure it gets done every day if you want to get to where you want to be. That's why we built this, for you and everybody else in the front line of sales, to make sure you can reach your audience. And we'll do anything we can to help you reach that goal, including recommending contacts. So I want to make sure you see this feature too, because it's going to be a huge advantage to hitting those goals, right? We've built a recommendation engine that is intuitively tracking how you search and then bringing you recommended leads based on that search history that have already been validated by other customers, already researched, they're already here. So come in here every day too, save these contacts, add them to your list, get them into your pipeline so that you can hit, now I'm starting to creep toward this goal, right? Now this goal is seeming more possible. We're going to evolve this tool to give you an opportunity to come in here and prescribe for us. What contacts should we recommend? Who should we be looking for? Tell us what you need to build as much pipeline as you can so we can help you hit these goals. All of our customers, you included, have amazing products and services. We are here to help make sure you change the lives of as many people as possible with your amazing products and services. So when you go to LinkedIn, right, and you follow our founder, Brandon, right, and I recommend doing that. I recommend getting in there, following Brandon on LinkedIn. He's got a lot of he is sharing all of his insights, all the content he's ever developed, everything he did to reach where he is in sales today. He's sharing all of that with you, and you'll see on a mission to positively impact 1 billion people, right? I know that sounds big, right? But this is the actual calculus to how we get there. If we help you find your audience, find your total addressable market and your amazing products and services, get out there, you get them into the market, you improve the lives of all of these people, 525 a day, you improve all of their lives. If all of you do that, if all of our customers do that, that's how we positively impact 1 billion people. You're part of that. We are relying on you to get out there and find the people who real-time data tells you need your products. The need is there. You just have to help reveal it for them and make sure they know about it. You owe it to them to find them. So we'll leave you with that. Thank you for joining today's webinar. We're looking forward to making this your biggest and best year yet. Please keep the conversation going down here in the help icon. Let us know what else we can do to help to make sure you can reach your total addressable market and help us positively impact over 1 billion people in 2020. Thanks, everybody.